So it looks like you have a fugitive case. Oh, you picked up three cases. You picked up a fraudulent use of ID, less than 5 items. You picked up a theft case, and you have an out-of-state fugitive case.
One of them has been dismissed, Judge, the fraudulent use of items.
Solid.
So technically, he's only got the theft pending and the fugitive case pending.
You can enlighten us.
Your Honor, this defendant is wanted out of Broward County, Florida, for felony theft. The state would be opposed to a bond. There are 47 cycles of criminal history.
47 pages of crimes? That's not a record.
47 pages of crimes? That's not a criminal record. That's a lifetime subscription to trouble. Viewers, let me ask you, at what point does history stop being history and start being destiny?
Record. It's a library card. Viewers, let me ask you, should someone with this kind of history still get a shot at bond, or is that too risky?
In the past 5 years alone, these are just convictions.
47 pages of criminal history in 5 years?
47 cycles, Your Honor. For the pages is 46 pages of criminal history, including, well, the California one's old, so I'm not going to count that one, but just in the last 5 years alone, these are just...
It was not 47 in the last 5 years.
Don't talk. I mean, we're just trying to, the thing is, Mr. Jones, is I have a very limited amount of time to try to get to know you.
Powerful. The judge makes it clear. He doesn't rely on the defendant's words, but on the paper trail. Question for you. Is that fair justice or just cold paperwork deciding someone's future?
To know you. And everyone that comes in front of me tells me it's gumdrops and rainbows and little bunnies jumping in the woods. But the way I really get to know you is the paper, because that tells me who you are, right? If you're a dangerous person, if you're a person that I'm going to let go and you're going to continue with the criminality, I have enough trouble sleeping as it is. I don't want more blood on my hands. I don't want something else that's going to keep me up at night. So that's why. Well, but this is how we get to know you. And he's telling me you got 46 pages of criminal history.
So in the past 2 years, he's had 3 failure to appears of multiple cases. He's had 2 habitation trespass convictions, a DWLI, prostitution, battery, criminal damage, failure to appear, possession of drugs, felony, obviously, resisting. But in 21 some odd years, 47 cycles of different offenses, I just stopped scrolling after 2020.
How many failure to appears do we have?
3, Your Honor. This one itself is a no-show, according to the transmission.
Young, could I say something?
Sure.
Okay, with the one he talking about with the failure to appear, I feel that was nonsense because of the simple fact that I flew from Fort Lauderdale up here after they said I had a warrant, and I went to court a couple of days before that. And is that documented, sir? You can see that?
Judge, I will say this, he did explain that
How
to
old are
me.
you, Mr. Jones?
I'm 40 years old, sir.
You're 40.
Yes, sir.
How many cases has he picked up in total?
He's been charged with. If you give me 10 minutes, I can count them, but it's not low.
Think
I mean,
about this. One case for every year of his life. That's not just a coincidence. That's a pattern. Should the court treat him as a lost cause? Or is there still a chance to break the cycle?
I mean, I can start from 2004.
Theoretically, for every year you've been born, you've had a case. You're 40 years old, and you have around 46 pages of criminal history. So literally, every year you've been born, you've picked up a case. And not only that, you've got multiple failures
So
to
sometimes you don't think the jurisdiction will fail?
Huh?
You don't think the jurisdiction will fail?
The problem is, at some point, your actions become your own. You now have with us, you've picked up a theft case here in Harris County. You've got an open case in another jurisdiction. You've got pages upon pages. So what point is it on you?
When you pay your debt to society, why do they keep using it against you? Pay my debt to society for those,
If it continues,
hires, okay.
continues to happen. At some point, DAs are like, jail just doesn't work anymore. So that's when we got to go to prison, because this dude.
See, but prison don't help guys. That don't make them better. That makes them worse. Instead of Instead of tormenting them and sending them, feeding them to the wolves, y'all should sit down with that person to find out what's going on to help them. Prison is not helping nobody. Prison is not.
I can't tell you how many stories I have read of people who get degrees, college degrees, even become a lawyer while they're in prison. So if you want it to help, then it will. But you gotta want it. If
That
you,
one matters to me, Your Honor.
if you
But
have,
you know what the sad thing about it is, in the state of Florida with me, and that's why I left. Something happened, and I have a conflict of interest against the police. So now they're giving at me every chance that they get. But it's crazy. He's saying I have a warrant, and I flew from there after that warrant was pro se. Pro se that they said I have. I flew from Fort Lauderdale all the way to Houston, flew back down there, and flew back. And he said I have a warrant, and I flew and went to court for another charge down there.
I don't get it.
You know what?
I don't know how that happened, but it's not supposed to. You know,
So
it happened.
what's the system, fella? If I have a warrant, you mean tell me they're gonna let me in their courtroom, attend to my judge, see my judge, everything, and let me go, and let me get back on the plane to fly back here? Mind you, I flew from here and flew back down there. You let me do all of this with a warrant?
I can't explain that. I can't.
So that's the system failing somewhere, somehow. It's not me.
Let me talk to the judge real quick.
But Mr. Jones, if you have this woe is me attitude, it's never going to change. It's never going to change.
Not helping. He's not helping. Y'all not helping society. Y'all always blaming me and this and that and the other. Prime example, he's saying, oh, he got prices from here. And he went and called stuff off. That he said, well, only started from 2022, and you going past 2022, and I'm like, yo, well, hey, that's what the prosecutor do. He just doing his job.
Right. So he's good.
Judge, if I may, sure. Points. First, if he's finished up the cases that he has had in his history, he's had a history, okay, he's had a history. If he's paid his debt to society, like he says, if he's completed what he needs to do for those cases, that really shouldn't be relevant here. I would argue that in front of you, this is his first time being in front of you, right? And it looks bad that he has a criminal history. Yes, I get that. But if we were to just focus on whether or not he knew about this case, he's telling me he got on a flight, came over here, and it's a great question. If that happened, he would have had a warrant pending and would have been arrested.
When
So
was the warrant issued, do you know?
March 3rd, 2025, but because it's a U.S. flight, and obviously I don't work for TSA, I don't work for the Department of Homeland Security.
Just got issued.
March 3rd, 2025, Judge.
The warrant was just issued in March of this year. So
And I
30 days ago it got issued.
flew March 10th back up.
So, Judge, if that's the case, it hasn't been like he's been missing his responsibilities with
And I went to
case.
court.
It's less than a month.
And you can also see that I went to court. I went to court before March 3rd.
That's like failure to appear, which is
I went to court. I went to court before then.
Judge, the warrant has
I was
been
in the
issued
courtroom.
we're at April 1st, less than a month. And so it's not like he's been running. If the warrant's just been issued on March 3rd, I would ask that we afford this man an opportunity to make this right. He hasn't messed up in your eyes. Yeah, he's messed up in the past, but as far as the fugitive case is concerned, I'm asking for an opportunity for him to go to the demanding jurisdiction. And then if he messes up, okay, well, I don't have much to say after that. But throwing his history out there, it doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a chance.
that's
This is where credibility collapses. Multiple failures to appear are like red flags waving in the judge's face. And in the courtroom, reliability isn't optional. It's everything. What do you think? Excuses or evidence?
but no bond. He's has assaultive history as well. It shows that the message I received from Florida is that he has violent tendencies, obviously reflected by the assaultive history, along with I don't have to go ad nauseum, but the criminal history that he has.
When were the FTAs? How long ago?
Yeah, most recent failure to appear. I won't know, Judge. There's one from May 4th, 2023. There's one from December 7th, 2023. There's one from
It's not on the case though. Those are separate cases.
This is where credibility really crumbles. Multiple failures to appear show the judge you can't be trusted. In legal terms, skipping court is sometimes worse than the crime itself. It screams unreliability. What do you think? Is he making excuses or pointing out real flaws in the system?
Because we're not talking about on this case.
Oh, that, to be clear, it's not on this case, but
Obviously not on this case. The problem is that it keeps happening, you know, and I can't continue to.
Sir, it not keep happening, sir. Sir, this warrant that you set up, sir, I went, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have another open case. And that open case is why I flew back down there, went to court, finished court. They said I have a warrant. I go to the warrant district. They said I have no warrant. Leave the warrant district. Get on the plane to fly back up here. And they said I had a warrant before I even flew on the plane back down. So I got flying.
Mr. Jones, even if I were to set you a
Okay,
bond,
no problem. Thanks.
here's your money. There you go.
the second one we're going to be, well, excuse me, the requirements request, but
Yeah, Judge, on
If you want to take it off, I will.
on the second one, let's take it off. I'm concerned about HIPAA stuff and
That's from the brain.
yes, Judge.
If you want to get to the list.
Mr. Nelson has a warrant out of Florida. He did have a local case that was resolved this morning.
Just dismissed. Yeah, today.
Yeah, actually, I think.
No, I get some pled. Right. Okay.
He pled on that. He previously had signed a waiver 7 days ago, I think, but,
March 31st.
March 31st.
Oh, that's it.
That's Friday. But anyway, his value of time is probably exaggerated. He has a warrant for Florida. He's been picked up on this before in Tennessee, and they didn't extradite him from Tennessee. They released him after 3 days. He's back in jail here in Texas now, obviously, for the same charge out of Florida, and he is a cancer patient, and he's wanting to grant him a PR bond so he can go back to Florida.
Good.
That's where I was heading.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it just so happened that you
No, sir.
you got a failure ID as well.
The failure ID was, they pulled a gun on the guy they were looking for, and I was at the crosswalk. I wasn't there. They weren't stopping me. They stopped another guy. They were waiting for 3 days or whatever to get him. And then when yes, sir.
It doesn't matter.
This is not our first time being here on this case, Amy,
He previously had a case in Tennessee.
with this same charge.
Well, just a fugitive case in general. I can't say.
So that was in Tennessee. Now he's one out of Florida.
No. He had this exact same proceeding in Tennessee.
Meaning he was a fugitive in Tennessee because of Florida.
Yes, he was incarcerated in Tennessee and had a hold on him from Florida. They chose not to extradite him at that particular time. He was released 3 or 4 days there.
How long ago was that?
How long ago was that, son?
5, 6 years ago.
And after 5 to 6 years ago, you still haven't taken care of the case.
That was during pre-COVID, and we were coming back from Michigan. And we were on our way down, and we stopped in Tennessee. I started working at the hotel, and they came in, and they said, out of the clear blue, looks like you got a warrant. And I go, what? Okay, so they took me in. They ran everything. They held me for 3 days, and they let me loose. There was no new charges or nothing.
What's he wanted for?
It's domestic violence.
In Florida, he's wanted for a couple different warrants on bond
Here's the
verification.
bigger picture. State versus state. If Florida won't extradite, should Texas keep spending resources to hold him? This isn't just about one man. It's about overcrowded jails, taxpayer money, and the limits of justice.
Verification for domestic battery by strangulation, violation of free trial for domestic battery, violation of free trial for domestic battery by strangulation, failure to appear for domestic battery, strangulation, and threat theft.
That was back in
And he's been open for
12 years.
and you still won't go back.
No, we weren't going to go back. That was the whole thing. I was in
The
Florida.
only thing I'm waiting for you to say is that you were abducted by aliens that prevented you.
I'm not going to lie to you, sir, but We were going back. When COVID hit, actually, I was in Florida. That's where we went from Michigan to Tennessee, then Tennessee down to Florida during the pre-COVID. And we were in, I think, Pensacola. And we were there for like 3 months, and we were waiting for the COVID to stop, but it just didn't end. So I ended up talking to a gentleman that had.
And here's the big clash, state versus state. If Florida doesn't want to come get him, why should Texas hold the bag? This is more than one man's case. It's about overcrowded jails, strained budgets, and how far justice should really stretch.
Plenty of work for me across the country to go to all of his hotel properties to fix them and find out why they were failing, why were they not making any money, and what was going on. So that's what I've been doing.
Does Florida really want him? Are they going to come get him? Or are we just playing games here? You know, because if they really want to get him, I'm going to hold. But if they're not going to come get him, then I'm not going to hold it. We have enough people in our jail as it is. So let's do this. The problem is, Mr. Nelson, you don't learn your lesson. You've repeatedly been arrested on this charge, and they've told you to go back, and you refuse to go back. So I can't, in good conscience, give you a bond when you refuse to comply with your court orders.
You understand?
Just don't want to do it. You want to do what you want to do. And then, hey, if I happen to get arrested, they're not going to come get me anyways. So
No, I don't say that at all.
you don't say it,
Right.
but your actions say something different.
I understand. I do.
When people tell me stuff, it goes in this year, it goes in this, what matters are actions.
You understand?
So
With regards to Florida, I'm happy to check up on that. He does also have other warrants for other states. He has a probation violation for Michigan and also contempt.
They're not coming.
touching with states, man.
Oh, they already told the jail. They already made the call. They're not coming. They don't want nothing to do with me. It's already been.
They don't have a whole file right now, but he does have the other warrants.
And those are from 2009. And I served my time on all of it, but it's just.
So
I understand.
let's roll it to tomorrow. Please reach out to Florida and see, do you really want him? If you do, here he is. If not, can we, really?
We like bond. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nelson.
Hey, I love your show.
I don't have a show.
I watch you on.
I like you.
Story.
We are approaching on Mr. Avalar.
Okay.
I wanted to ask about bond conditions.
Yes, Sean, so yesterday I believe you gave him a $5,000 bond and picked up the offense of violating bond conditions. Your Honor, it turns out that the facts are right. If he had stayed away and we had let them all out of prison, the person who he was in this issue with, her house caught on fire, burned to the ground. She called him asking for assistance. He said, hey, I don't know. I don't think I can be talking to you. And then 2 days later, she got into a car accident where her vehicle was totaled. And she said, please, I have nowhere to go. Can you help? He said, look, I'll help you find some place to go and I'll drive you there. And that's it. In the midst of driving her there, he was pulled over for no registration.
Calls Murphy's Law is what it's
And
called.
she said, I've got bad juju.
You know?
He confirmed all this.
Yes, just so.
Go ahead and bring him out. Avalar.
Judge, the prosecutor on the case did call the complainant. She pretty much gave nearly the exact same story of her apartment burned down. She was just trying to get a ride. They have not had contact up until this point. So we are not ready to offer a plea today because it is a new case. But we are okay with the PR bond at this point, just given the circumstances.
What do we do about conditions?
Conditions, we would still like to keep that no contact in place. It seems like they didn't have an issue up until this point with it. So we would just reinstate that no contact.
We'll ask for a short reset, Your Honor, but from speaking with the CW, she communicated to me that the whole thing was a misunderstanding. She feels safe around him, and honestly,
Here's
she'd
the
like...
lesson. Folks, court orders are like gravity. You can't ignore them without crashing back down. The judge calls it Murphy's Law, but really, it's accountability catching you.